All right, guys, we're going to talk about what's going on in the real estate market. Now, real estate around the world is taking a massive beating, but nobody's taking a bigger beating than San Francisco, Oakland, and San Jose. Because seriously, guys, as bad as I want to talk about Seattle real estate, Seattle surprisingly is having certain areas of the city and buildings actually going up in price, right? Many places like Austin, Las Vegas, Phoenix, for example, prices are all stabilizing pretty well. Midwest, we don't really see any sort of decrease in price. Florida, places like Miami are doing really well. Manhattan prices are also increasing, but the only place that's really dropping like a rock is going to be the Bay Area, right? Especially San Francisco and the Oakland area, with more and more crazy laws that go against small landlords. And hey, if you want a city to make a lot of money, you want to have big real estate deals. People are so turned off by the Bay Area real estate. They don't want to buy anything. Just from the transfer taxes alone in real estate, just a few years ago, San Francisco was making between $400 million to $700 million per year. That is a lot of revenue just from real estate property transfers. Now they've made $183 million in the past 12 months. So just think about the numbers. You used to make a little over half a billion. Now you make less than 200 million bucks. That is not something that you want to be seeing for a city. In fact, San Francisco is so busted right now, you also have higher interest rates, which is about to absolutely just take out this whole entire city. Check this out. 30-year mortgage rate, right? 8.21%. That is a very, very high amount. This is not a low mortgage rate by any means. 30-year mortgage is the highest in like multiple decades, and I can't imagine taking out a 30-year mortgage at 8%, guys. And 15-year fix is 7.3, not any better. I remember during the pandemic, you could actually get loans under 3% for a 30-year mortgage. Now it's at 7.3%, which is super duper high, and rates are only going to continue to increase because the job market is so hot and the feds want to decrease the interest rates only if inflation goes down, right? So we could be seeing lower interest rates coming in next year in September. That's like 12 months. So good luck with that. And right now, construction has pretty much halted in San Francisco, whereas places like Miami and New York City, construction is booming at an all-time high. And yes, we know that a lot of people have left New York City, but it's still a big financial center and people are still willing to buy condos there. Manhattan condos are being built like crazy and people are still buying them. People are literally spending $1 to $2 million for a brand new one bedroom in Midtown Manhattan. I'm not joking. They're making more buildings, they're making more skyscrapers, and they are actually selling. Whereas San Francisco, they can't even build a single skyscraper right now, right? There's supposed to be two massive skyscraper projects in San Francisco, One Oak and Hayes Point. Both have now foreclosed. They haven't even started on the building. Hayes Point actually got some machinery going, right? But One Oak is still like a small restaurant or something, and they haven't even torn it down yet. But both plots of land are being sent back to the lender. They are now canceling two massive projects, which equates to a little over $2 billion. And they were supposed to build together like over 500,000 square feet of office space, retail space, and another hundreds of thousands of square footage of condos and apartments are all being canceled. These are the projects that a city wants to have, because if a city doesn't have this, you won't really have good revenue. And the reason why they've canceled it is, why would you build these expensive towers when you could buy this building back here, which is about to default on the $400 million loan for pennies on the dollar? You could literally buy some of these office buildings for 50 to 70% off their listing price, and the seller will be cool with it. And prices are not recovering at all for San Francisco. You already have several cities in the US where they're saying that they're no longer cooling down. In fact, some places in the US are actually heating up once again. But San Francisco is just getting cooler and cooler and cooler. Prices just keep dropping. It's like catching a falling knife. It's going to hurt, right? But nobody's really buying it. And the rich are pretty much leaving too. Many rich people who used to buy San Francisco property, like the tech CEOs, venture capitalists, and very wealthy engineers, have all ditched San Francisco real estate. If you check out this, mansions are no longer selling. Somebody bought this one all the way back in the old days, and then now they try to sell it for $23.5 million, eventually sold it for $18.5 million. There's another mansion, $16.5 million, sold for $13 million. Another mansion at $32 million, sold it for $20 million. These are some of the biggest increases in luxury real estate I've ever seen, right? If you go to, like, for example, Manhattan, Hong Kong, if you go to Tokyo, high-end real estate do get discounts, but not discounts to the point of this. Okay, they don't see discounts of 30 to 40% like San Francisco. And you're going to be seeing more discounts, especially in the real estate sector. Many of these condos and apartments in the Bay Area are no longer selling. Nobody wants these units. And per square footage prices in some of these buildings have decreased by a good 30 to 40%. And like I said before, back in the old days, you probably can't find a 2-bedroom for $600,000, right? In San Francisco, like 2 bedrooms back then, a decent one, somewhat new construction, you got to spend well over $1 to $1.5 million. And look at this. Look at the latest price cut on October 1st. $250,000 price cut. There's a lot of landlords right now that are extremely desperate at trying to sell these homes. I mean, seriously, $250,000 price cut is not normal to see for a city. And there's also news of Airbnb bust. We're seeing the Airbnb bubble busting in a spectacular way, especially with many people during the pandemic buying a lot of San Francisco Airbnbs. Because before the pandemic, San Francisco Airbnbs, on average, one unit could make a owner $20,000 to $40,000 a year, which is extremely profitable. So people took advantage of the low interest rates. They put 5% down and bought like 10 different condos or 5 different condos, really over leveraged themselves. And now they find themselves in a pickle, right? They see themselves, oh crap, I have all these properties. I could barely rent them out and I have mortgages to pay and interest rates are super high. I need to sell these, at least get some money back, and they can't, right? And this is why you're seeing very desperate attempts to try to sell some of these units with some extremely fat price cuts that I'm pretty much shocked as well. And if you look at this, you're also seeing a lot of punishment on mom and pop landlords in California. California landlords, especially the small ones, who invest only in 1, 2, 3 properties, not like the big corporation. We're talking about just small landlords. They can't even make any money off this because squatters have more rights than people who own the property themselves. And that's California for you. And if you want to turn off a lot of small real estate investors that pretty much power the city and make you taxes, well, just pretty much give squatters more rights. And that's exactly what's happening here. We're also seeing, tenants who are literally squatting for years on end in California. Airbnb, whatever it is, like they could just pretty much squat there for like 14, 16 months rent free. It's absolutely crazy to see this kind of stuff. It's not normal. Now I get it, renters need rights. I think renters, they're very vulnerable, but come on, man. Like if you can't really have people just squatting in like an Oakland mansion, a fat house like this for like over a year without any sort of repercussion. I think they pretty much just turned off every single real estate investor in the world trying to come to California for investing. This is why, nobody wants to buy California real estate. People are going to Florida, people are going to Texas, and even the East Coast is somewhat decent, right? I mean, New York City has some pretty strict renting laws as well, but California has taken us to a whole new level. I mean, Oakland, San Francisco, it's a completely different universe. So that's about it, guys. We could be seeing another massive collapse in terms of San Francisco real estate. Be careful. See you guys later.